Do you understand what this crowbar is referring to? Well, I guess you have been playing games for a while now. And perhaps like me, you also miss that time in that era. At least when it comes to single-player first-person shooters. But were games better before? Or am I just being nostalgic? But I do think I have a closed mind today, because I've been playing games since the late 80s and then into the 90s. And in the 90s, there were a specific type of games that just became a lot more fun than any other type of game. That was games like Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Quake. Then in the late 90s, these games came to a new level, because the computers started to become so much more powerful, and we got games like Delta Force. The games were no longer restricted to these narrow hallways and closed-in spaces, but suddenly you were outside in this huge landscape. I could look far into the distance, and I could attack these outposts or whatever it was from multiple angles. Now every game forward wasn't like that, like Max Payne, but it was still an absolutely amazing game with great graphics, and especially the physics engine was very good. And do you remember the reload animation in Max Payne 2? That was just perfect. And we had a lot more great games in the 2000s, like Half-Life 2, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, No One Lives Forever. I just feel like the single-player first-person shooters from that era were better, and especially I liked that they were not open world, but they were linear. You go from A to B. And there's specifically one game I really miss, that is Far Cry. Far Cry was absolutely amazing and had beautiful graphics. And the graphics wasn't just technically good, but also it was so aesthetically pleasing. It was still this linear game type and not open world. It was obvious where you had to go, but you still had the possibility to walk around and explore. So that, in combination with the great graphics, made it such a fun game to play. So I just want more games like that. Single-player, first-person shooters where you go from A to B, and it would be great if you have the ability to explore, like in Far Cry 1. So what about modern games then? Well, I tried Far Cry 5. I didn't really like that game so much. Then I saw Cyberpunk, and there was so much hype around that game. But I think that's an open world game. You do some hacking. It's dark. It just didn't appeal to me. I do really have a closed mind today. When I was a kid, I could play anything. A new type of game came out and I would be super excited to try it out. But honestly, I don't know so much about gaming today either, because I just recently got a new gaming PC. And my previous PC had a CPU from 2011 and a GPU from 2014, so I couldn't play the latest games with that PC. So, do you have any tips for me? What games could I play if I really enjoyed the single-player first-person shooters in the 2000s?